Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit duluthnewstribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Monday, January 23rd. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now, here's a look at today's headlines. Duluth City Councilors are expected to approve the expenditure of as much as $107,000 tonight to lobby lawmakers in St. Paul this legislative session. The City Council's wish list includes a request to extend for another 30 years a local 0.5% tax on hotel stays, as well as restaurant and bar tabs. One resolution headed to the council authorizes city staff to pay up to $72,000 to the law firm of Freiberger, Buchanan, Smith, and Frederick, PA, to push forward a number of city legislative priorities, including the sales tax. A second resolution approves spending an additional $35,000 to advocate for the launch of a passenger rail service between the Twin Cities and the Twin Ports. Both resolutions remain on the council's consent agenda after a Thursday evening meeting, meaning that they are considered uncontroversial and likely will be approved unanimously, without debate, tonight. Duluth already has a 0.5% sales tax that it has used to finance recreational improvements along the St. Louis River corridor in an effort to make the area more attractive to both tourists and prospective residents. The tax, approved in 2014, is slated to sunset once it has generated $18 million, and it is quickly nearing that mark. The city would need legislative approval to extend the tax, and the resolution headed to the council tonight requests authority for the tax to remain in place another 30 years or until it generates up to $36 million, with the proceeds earmarked for, quote, capital improvements to parks-based public athletic facilities in support of sports tourism and quality of life in northeast Minnesota, end quote. If the Minnesota legislature signs off on the sales tax extension, the city council would simply need to pass an ordinance to tack up to an additional 30 years onto the life of the tax. The matter would not necessarily need to go to a public referendum vote. The St. Louis County Board will take an initial vote Tuesday on funding various proposals to aid in opioid remediation and reduction. The county received $2.06 million in this first round of remediation funds as the result of lawsuits the state of Minnesota is involved in with opioid manufacturers. Last year, the county's Advisory Committee of Human Remediation Settlement Funds put out a request for proposals to use these funds. Last week, at a county board workshop, Jana Blomberg, a community health program coordinator and member of the committee, presented the board with 8 proposals for the board's consideration. These include funds for the Rural AIDS Action Network, Recovery Alliance Duluth, Housing for Inmates, CHUM, United Way, Wellbeing Development, YWCA Duluth, and a media fund to release harm reduction communication materials. The funding request will go before the board this week in its Committee of the Whole session. The Duluth Economic Development Authority has rejected a developer's proposal to renovate the fire-damaged Pastorate Terrace property as part of a First Street revitalization effort. DITA, which owns the historic downtown building that long housed the Cozy Bar and apartments, announced in a statement Friday afternoon that it was declining to move forward with a plan submitted by Rod Raymond's Endion Station, LLC. Raymond, who first learned of the decision from the News Tribune, called it, quote, frustrating. He said Mayor Emily Larson called him earlier in the day to set up a meeting Monday, at which point he hoped to advance his goal of fixing up the building for short-term rentals that would capitalize on the rapidly expanding downtown healthcare industry and serve as a catalyst for redevelopment in the historic arts and theater district. He was the lone developer to come forward when DITA issued a request for proposals last year, and also was shut out in 2017 when he pitched restoration as market-rate efficiency apartments. Raymond said he received a letter Friday citing 4 reasons for rejecting the proposal: an unwillingness to take ownership of the building and a lack of detail regarding financial backing, project timeline, and development experience. Raymond is a well-known local businessman whose history includes redevelopment of historic properties including Old City Hall, former Carlson Bookstore, and Endion Station. He said he hasn't been allowed to enter the structure, and his proposal was premised on the city first undertaking court-ordered steps to shore up the building in order to assess the next steps for his plan. The city cited the, quote, business data, end quote, section of the state's public information law in declining further comment on the details and merits of Raymond's proposal. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the Women Today 6th Annual Rosie Awards.
Happy Monday, Duluth. Cloudy skies today, and there will be a chance for a few flurries or a light snow shower. Generally high temperatures very close to the freezing mark. Winds picking up a bit from the west at 10 to 20. Then overnight tonight, mostly cloudy with a temperature around 15 degrees. For Tuesday, slightly cooler, still cloudy. Can't rule out a stray flurry or two, but a high of 24 degrees. Better chance for some flurries and light snow return to the picture on Wednesday. Generally looking at a light dusting with that. The cold front knocks temperatures down into your Thursday, into the teens. Another chance for some snow Thursday night and into Friday, but that is going to bring much colder air ahead of the weekend. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Jesse Ritka.
Thank you to the Rosie Awards for their support. Northland women are a driving force in our community. They are advocates, mentors, volunteers, and leaders. Nominate a special woman you think deserves to be recognized at thewomantoday.com or by email at dearrosie@thewomantoday.com. Nominations are now open and continue through January 31st. Reporting for today's episode was done by Peter Passy, Terry Cadow, and Tom Olson. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.